Good evening, everyone! Yes, gabi na jud guys saba ka diri. So without further ado, let me introduce myself. I'm Teacher Jen, your teacher for this night. So, for the next clip, it's either right or left, we were talking about assessment. What is assessment? What are those assessment? And what are the purpose of assessment? Why every school's having an assessment. So, let's go. Enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. First, let's talk about what is assessment. So, assessment is the learning progress of each learners into the educational needs of each student. It also are used to identify individual students. Yes, their weaknesses and also their strengths. So that the educators, we teachers, can provide academic supports to our learners. There is a lot of assessment, like standard assessment, common assessment, performance assessment, high stakes assessment, but let's just focus to the 5 assessment that I will talk about in the next clip or in the next video. So there are 5 assessment that I will discuss to you guys. So listen carefully, and without further ado, let's talk about it. First, we'll talk about traditional assessment. So what is traditional assessment? So traditional assessment are easy to grade. Students learn in the same thing and also relies on rote memorization of facts. So the example for this is the multiple choice, matching type, short answers, true or false, essay, one-shot test, indirect test, and also the time exams. So this assessment, it analyzes how much of the provided materials or syllables has been acquired by the learners. It helps to compare the performance of each student because they learned in different ways. So that is the traditional assessment. So now, let's talk about second is the alternative assessment. It is creatively applied the knowledge to solve different problems. So this is the example of it. The concept maps, the portfolios, open tests, time tests, direct tests, classroom-based tests, and contextualized tasks. So this kind of assessment is evaluating the learning process of each student. It's also encouraging learners to interact with other learners or with their peers, or even in a teachers or in a larger community. So that is alternative assessment. Next, third is the authentic assessment. Is to have creative learning experience of each student. This is what to test the student's skills and knowledge into realistic situation. For examples, in observation, essays, journals, demonstration, interviews, performance tests, and others. This assessment helps learners to work on tasks that is relevant for them rather than passive or obscure tasks. Obscure means not discovered or unknown. That is authentic assessment. So the next assessment is the project-based assessment. It focuses on the course or unit to teach students by engaging them into problem solving, or it can be more on exploration. For example, solve local problems, just simple problems. Next is the publish something or anything, where they can work together as a team or a pair. Last is the place-based project, where the students out into nature to make connection to each of them or to each of their pairs or their groupmates. So in this assessment, it asks students of what they learned on that particular test or on that particular topic. The last but not the least is the portfolios assessment. So this is all about the compilations of each student's work. For examples, their essay, artworks, reports, journals, paperworks, and other papers to compile or tasks that they need to compile with. So these assessments are associated with the standards to reflect what you have been taught as well, you teacher, as they learn from you. So that is portfolios assessment. So those 5 assessments: traditional assessment, alternative assessment, authentic assessment, project-based assessment, and portfolios assessment, it has purpose, okay? So the purpose of those assessments that I tackled in the video is to gather those performance that is students have, if it has progress or does not, and also to determine students' interests and to make judgments about their learning process or the learning progress of each learners, so that the teachers can reflect of each student's level of achievement, because through assessment it shows about the learning of each learners and also the learning process of each teachers, because assessment is not just all about learners, it's also about the teachers, the schools, if their students have progress or not. So this is the end of the video. I hope you will learn and learn and learn. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great time, everyone. Good night.